Whew. It only took 603 years, but we're finally in familiar territory. First off, hi. Welcome back to my revisit of the Castlevania timeline. Where we last left off, we finally left the era of Christopher Belmont, and now we're entering the era of the most famous Belmont we are all familiar with, Simon Belmont, and the game in question, the original Castlevania. Enjoy the show. Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new installment of the Castlevania Timeline Revisit. This time I am taking a look at the original Castlevania. Castlevania 1 is a 2D side-scrolling action platform game originally released in May of 1987 for the NES and follows the tale of Simon Belmont and his quest to slay Dracula. I always heard how awesome the series is, and if it wasn't for the Netflix series, which trust me, I will be talking about, I wouldn't be as invested into the series as I am now. But here's the question, is Castlevania any good, or is it truly rigged? Let's find out then! So Castlevania takes place in 1691, exactly 100 years after the events of Belmont's Revenge, and the citizens of Transylvania enjoyed their 100 years of peace until a cult dedicated on bringing back Dracula succeeded in bringing the Bloodsucker, so it's up to Simon Belmont to go from stage to stage and take down Dracula. Now, keep in mind, I got this plot from the PS1 reimagining Castlevania Chronicles, since this is an NES game we're talking about. So overall, depending on the version, something I will talk about in due time, believe me, the story is pretty good. So, is the gameplay any good though? Castlevania's gameplay has us in control of Simon Belmont, and the name of the game is Strut, Jump, Whip, Use the Sub-Weapons, and Die. Okay, let's talk about one thing I bet some people don't like. Simon's jump in the original NES game is incredibly stiff, meaning you cannot control Simon's jump while you're in the air, unlike later incarnations where you could do exactly that. Another thing most people don't seem to enjoy is that good old-fashioned knockback, which basically spells death if you're standing near a ledge. But here's the thing, it's a little something I like to call read the enemy movement. Take the infamous Medusa heads. They fly above and below, but if you're paying close attention to their flight patterns, you can take them out with no problem at all. Now, onto the sub-weapons. The holy water utterly breaks the game. It's so damn powerful against just about everything and anything. 1 heart per use and freezes practically everything in sight. Medusa and even Death himself don't stand a chance against it, especially if you have this little thing. It basically allows you to throw up to 3 of the same sub-weapon at once. So overall, gameplay is pretty challenging, but oh so satisfying when you eventually beat the level or the boss. Visually, this looks great for a 1987 NES game. Colors pop out really great and enemies also look good. Can't say the same for Dracula, unfortunately, just not a fan of that big ass Waluigi looking nose of his. I prefer his Super Castlevania 4 and Chronicles incarnations. OST though, I mean, it's pretty damn awesome for giving birth to some of the most iconic tracks like Vampire Killer and Wicked Child. Now, let's recap. Story's pretty good, gameplay is great, visually held up, and OST is also pretty great. Here are my closing thoughts. Overall, Castlevania is not rigged. People just can't seem to accept that games can be quite challenging, or they care more about their gamer pride more than actually getting good at the fucking game. From a good story, great gameplay, and an amazing soundtrack, Castlevania is certainly a challenging but well timed. But if you do find the original Castlevania too difficult, then either play Super Castlevania 4 or Castlevania Chronicles with non-stiff jumping and an even better OST and visuals. Or if you have the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, then play the Japanese version that has an easy mode and pretty much eliminates knockback, and you don't lose the sub-weapon. Overall, the original Castlevania gets a 9 out of 10. As for both Super Castlevania 4 and Chronicles, they both get a perfect 10 each. But now, I want to know from you all. Did you play the original Castlevania? If so, what's your favorite version to play? And are they something you could recommend to a friend? Leave your answers and more down in the comments. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And while you're here, subscribe and turn on the bell to be notified whenever I make a new video. As always, my social media links are down below. And join me next time where we jump 7 years later, but still with Simon in Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest. Till then, have a great time, and take care.